I have some thoughts about the Battle Angel Alita trailer that just dropped. So the first thing you notice is Rosa Salazar has the biggest CG anime eyes you've ever seen on screen. And it bothered me quite a bit when I saw it on the small screen, my computer, my laptop here. And it was just, I don't know. Sometimes when you watch a trailer with a lot of CG elements, it's much more noticeable on a laptop than it is on the big screen. When I put the trailer up on the TV room, it bothered me a little bit less. So by the time I see it in the theater, and let's face it, I'm gonna see this fucking thing in the theater despite any complaints I might have. I'll probably get used to. I can't do this. I'll probably get used to it, but I think it's a weird choice to just kind of jump into the uncanny valley because it's true. Alita has massive eyes in the manga, but I think that's more of a style of the artist than a feature of the character, because all the women in this have massive eyes. See, check this lady out. She has big ass eyes. Let's see, we got some more. We got another girl. Let's see, where's Koyomi? Where's Koyomi? Where are you? Where are you, Koyomi? I should have bookmarked this stuff. Anyway, here's Alita with slightly less big eyes, but they're still big. But the way, here we go. Here's Koyomi. There, big ass eyes. And thus far, at least from what I can tell in the trailer, Alita is the only one with massive eyes, instead of all the women who have gigantic fucking eyes. So I think it's a weird choice. But like I said, by the time you watch the thing in the theater, it might be less weird. I don't know. There's always something when they adapt like an anime property or a manga property. There's always like something that stands out as like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, who okayed this? Who was in the room and said, let's make her eyes just half of her face? That's fucking weird. Other things in the trailer that I thought were kind of Hugo looks way too clean. Like in the manga, he looks like he works in a garage. He looks like he's a mechanic. He looks like he works with his hands and gets grease on his face. Whoever they got looks way too clean. They should have just spent some time in wardrobe and just slapped some mud and grease on his face. Scrapyard looks gross and decrepit like it should. The one shot of Teferi's we got looked pretty cool. I imagine Teferi's being a little bit more clean and you know, with like shiny panels and stuff like that. But I mean, whatever. It looks like a city in the sky, so that's pretty cool. The brief shots of Alita's fighting, that also kind of slides into the uncanny valley. Like, I know she's a robot. Well, she's a cyborg because her brain is human or Martian. She's a Martian. Spoilers. And she moves a lot faster. But like, I don't know, the moves. I don't know, something about the action shots that we saw throws me a little bit. But I'm gonna see it. Like I said, the other thing that kind of bums me out is well, I looked at the cast list, and it seems like the people in the scrapyard, it's a very diverse cast. We are missing a lot of Asian faces, but and I know people are gonna be like, oh, but it's the scrapyard, and it doesn't necessarily take place in Japan. It takes place in like the middle of Kansas, so they're not gonna be a whole lot of Asian. I get it. You don't like Asian people. You just like Asian stuff. That's the thing that bums me out about these adaptations, is that like, oh sure, we can take this Asian property and use all the trappings and the design work and all that kind of stuff, but we just can't put Asians in it. I do like that we have a Latina lead role. Rosa Salazar looks the part. She looks like Alita. I think she would look like Alita without the massive fucking eyes, but even with the big eyes, I don't know. It's weird. I like Christoph Waltz as as Ito. He looks the part. I'm disappointed that there aren't many Asians in this cast, but it looks like they've done a good job of casting the people in the scrapyard as diverse as they can, or as diverse as casting directors will let them in Hollywood. I just wish it were more. My vision of the scrapyard is sort of like the scrapyard is an amalgamation of everybody, so there's a lot of diversity in it. And then when you go to Teferi's, it's super homogenous. So everybody in Teferis is white, and it to me it sets up this classism thing, but also like a racial component. And I guess from this interpretation of the film, it seems to lean much more on the classism rather than the classism and racism of Teferis and the people below. But that's just me. That's from years and years of reading the manga and stuff like that. So you can't fit all that into one movie. It looks like they're going to be focusing on the very first story arc, which I think is a great idea, because even though Alita has so many different volumes and her character arcs goes through a whole lot of changes, I think the first book is a really good introduction to the world, good introduction to the people, and it's a nice heartbreaking love story, which is what you want from the mangoes. You want to read a nice love story and then have your heart stabbed and torn out and bleeding all over the place. If you saw the OVAs that they did, the 2 animated versions, you're probably going to get a good idea of what this first movie is going to be about. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I complain all the time about stuff, especially when it's manga translated by Western studios. But I'm gonna see this. I can't pretend I'm gonna see this. Alita's one of my favorite manga. It's like if an American studio got a hold of Blade of the Immortal and reworked it so that it takes place in New York or something like that and changed the entire cast, I would go fucking see it because I love Blade of the Immortal. So they got my money. And I don't know how I'd feel about that I'm so easily bought. But I don't know who this movie is for. I don't think there are enough of... I think when it was originally announced that James Cameron got the rights to do Alita, I think there was a lot of excitement about that, and people would have flocked to the theater. Nowadays, with the failure of Ghost in the Shell, which I thought was going to be big, even though I hated it, I thought that was going to be big. With that in the can, I don't know who this movie is for. So it's weird to see it coming out now. I guess the technology is caught up to where James Cameron thought he could do it well. I'm glad that he's not directing it, because fuck Avatar. I'm glad Robert Rodriguez is directing it, because he'll be able to pull out a good story out of James Cameron's fuckery. So, but anyway, I'm gonna see it. It's gonna bother me. The eyes are gonna bother me the entire time. But that's what I have to say about that. And it's kind of unfair to judge a movie by the trailer, so I'm sorry if I'm shitting on it way too early without actually seeing it. It might be a great interpretation of the story. I'm just slightly bummed about this, and slightly bummed that there aren't a whole lot of that there's not more diversity in the scrapyard. There's some, but I wish there was more, and I wish there were more Asians in it. So, all right, I'm gonna stop because I ramble a lot, and I'll check you later. Bye.